Hello people, I am the Comic Book Gamer and welcome to part 2 of my Battlefront discussion with Slcmof. Today we talk about the balancing of the teams of Rebels and Empire, we talk about DLC, and we talk about maybe the possibility of Clone Wars era being in Battlefront. I really do hope you guys enjoy this. If you do, please smash that like button. I want to see how many likes we can get on this video. Also, I will have a link in the description to Slcmof's channel if you guys want to check out his channel. And so yeah, without further ado, here is the part 2 of our Battlefront discussion. Yeah.
And also, I think some of my issues with it as well is the one-sidedness, which they've addressed at this point post-beta, of the Empire versus the Rebels. Obviously, the Rebels got smacked, and I know you made your video, and by the time I watched your video, I didn't actually get to play at that point. He made a video, for those who don't know, about how to win as the Rebels, but at that point, still, I thought that is a little, you know, but at the same time, it's canon to the films in a way, not canon, but it makes sense because if you look at the actual Battle of Hoth in Star Wars Episode 5, they lost, and it makes sense because they have AT-ATs and AT-STs, and the Rebels are just hanging on by a thread. You know, they're throwing wires in between, you know, the legs of these AT-ATs. So they're really on the defensive, and they portrayed it very well, but it is one-sided.
That was something I wanted to say. I think it would be cool if, as Luke, if you got like a huge, like 20 kill streak, you could do a takedown on a AT-AT like he did in the movie.
Or just something off. What about
like,
that?
You know how he flew up there, like took the lightsaber, cut a hole in it, and threw like a grenade in there? That would be so cool if you could do that, or at least like damage it severely, maybe not take it down, because you know how hard it'd be to get a 20 kill streak as a hero. That'd be insane. And if you could do a takedown AT-AT, that'd be awesome. I personally like the one-sidedness. It's not like incredibly one-sided like a lot of people are saying. You can win as the Rebels, and to me, it makes it so much more satisfying when you win as the Rebels. But also, I was playing with a ton of idiots. Like, they were playing like it was team deathmatch. I saw so many people that would not go near the objective. They were sitting back trying to play team deathmatch and then get pissed when AT-AT killed them. It was like, this isn't team deathmatch. The Rebels will beat you every single time if you try to play deathmatch. It won't work.
You mean the Empire will beat you?
You know what I mean. The Empire will beat you.
Yeah.
But people still try to do it. They'd sit back with their snipers or something, and they try to wait for the Empire to come up on the freaking terminals, and then they try to shoot them, and it didn't work because they have vehicles and they can just sit there while you have to move back.
Like, I agree, and I think once people play the game more, they're going to realize how it's meant to be played. But either way, there was an outcry large enough that they're changing it anyway. So I'm sure that they actually
about that.
Yeah, in their mind, I think they actually had it balanced, and if people played the game the correct way, I think they might have actually been okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm worried about them balancing it. I don't think there's a need to, because if you actually play it, like, I got in an X-Wing and started shooting at an AT-AT, I did loads of damage. I'd go by and just do sweeps. Like, if you can get, like, 5 Y-Wings, that gives you enough time to do a couple missile strikes on AT-AT. That does tons of damage. And again, if you get the orbital strike, that's, like, over half its health gone. If you get an orbital strike, you've won. And now I think the Rebels are going to be OP since they said they balanced them. Like,
yeah.
Like,
I think.
Go ahead.
I think a lot of that is from people like me that are from Call of Duty, and if you come from Call of Duty and even Battlefield to a degree, you expect basically every team needs to be half and half. You know, you have these linear maps, you have these equal teams, and the better team wins. And it's not that way. It's one team has different abilities and different advantages than another, you know what I mean? So it's very different, and it's people like me, I will admit, that are the reason that it got patched. And I think actually when the game comes out, we might actually realize the Rebels have too much of an advantage over the Empire. They might have overcorrected it. I would not be as surprised.
Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. They're going to try to compensate, and then it's going to turn out to where, oh, Rebels win so easily because when the shields are down, you can do tons of damage to them. And I hope that's not the case, but that's what it seems like. And I like the fact that the teams feel different instead of just like half and half, like you have just as much of a chance. Because when it boils down to is whoever's better at playing the objective, not who's better at killing the other person. It's who's better at playing the objective. And since if you don't play the objective at all, you've already forfeited. And a lot of people don't even play the objective, and that's why the Rebels lost. I got on a huge streak as the Rebels. I got like 7 wins in a row as Rebels. Never lost. Like, that was great on that 7 streak. But a lot of people, that was because I had teammates that were actually helping me. But a lot of the times, it was teammates that did not know what they were doing, and they'd be like shooting the AT-AT when the shields weren't even down, no Y-Wings were in. I was like, what are you doing? You gotta play the objective, not shoot it when there's no shields down. There are a lot of people that like did not understand what was going on.
Yeah, I think actually a lot of people just didn't understand the game mode. That was
Yeah,
me at the beginning. My first gameplay, that was actually me shooting at the
I
the
saw.
AT-AT. Yeah, so but I understood it as the game went on, and I did notice that it was getting better and the games were getting more competitive. But yeah, I think the game mode's not cut and dry. It's not TDM, it's not domination from Call of Duty. Get on this flag and you win. It's not like that. And I think people, as the game progresses, people will learn what they're trying to get at with the game modes and what your objective really is. So I think that will improve to a degree. I definitely agree with you.
That's what I really love about the beta, and I can't wait for the full game, is this is so much more unique than anything else that's been out in, like, since Battlefront 2. Like, you can't compare it to anything else. You can be like, oh, it's a little bit like Battlefield in this way, but that's, like, it. That's
Yeah.
like, besides that, it doesn't really feel like any game at all I've ever played. And I saw like a huge split between people on like YouTube comments when I look at big YouTubers like Angry Joe. He made his whole big rant about the rebels losing all the time. Well, the problem was Angry Joe sucked. I'll just say that. I like Angry Joe. He's a great YouTuber, but he sucked at Battlefront. Did you watch him play? He was terrible, and he was like complaining about why he lost. Like, gotta play the objective and not suck at the game. That's it. But when I look at comment sections, there were a couple different people. You had the people that were like, this is not Call of Duty or Battlefield, so they got mad about. They're like, you can't aim down sights or go prone. This sucks. Then you had the people that were the opposite of that, and they were like, oh, it's too modern now. This is not Battlefront 2. I was like, make up your minds. Which is it? You had people complaining about all different things. And then, like, in the game of Battlefront, I'd see in the chat people like, this is freaking awesome. I'm in Star Wars. No other game has made me feel like I'm in this much of a movie as Battlefront. Like, I compare it sort of a bit to Arkham Asylum. The fact that Batman Arkham Asylum made me feel like I was playing a comic book. This makes me feel like I'm in the movie, and I really love that.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. And I think just the problem that they're going to have is trying to market what they're trying to sell, and this is kind of shifting gears, but if you're really going to buy all of Star Wars Battlefront, you're looking at around $170.
Oh, the season pass, yeah.
So, and I'm talking about the special
it was
edition
120
as well.
bucks. I spent 120 bucks on it. I don't like the fact that's $50. I'm pissed about it for the season pass, but at the same time, it's nothing new. Call of Duty, $50. Battlefield, $50 for the season pass, and it's stupid. It's ridiculous. Like, you shouldn't have to pay $50 for this much add-ons, but at the same time, you don't have to buy it. Like, as long as they give me content, I'm happy, because I paid $40. Actually, I paid like $35, and Arkham Knight hasn't given me any DLC at all. So if I get any content, I'll be happy. But yeah, it's stupid. We shouldn't be paying $50 for extra maps. I don't like that.
Yeah, well, Arkham Knight's an exception. Let's just forget that. Let's just put that off to the side.
15-minute DLC is best ever.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm about done ranting about that. I'm out of breath, really. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's really not Battlefront's fault. You can't blame Battlefront. It's an industry problem. It's an industry problem, and they're at the point now where when you buy a AAA game, you're getting half of the game. That's just what you're getting. You're getting half the game when you purchase it, and you've not really bought the whole game until you buy the DLC, because the fact of it is they're going to have some like epic map with some epic exclusive hero in the DLC. I mean, that's gonna happen. Exactly. And you're gonna get to play as like an Ewok hero or something like insane like that, and it's just like, dude, I gotta buy it. I have to buy it. I have to.
I'd have to buy. Well, I already did, but if they announced Wicked, I'd buy it again. Wicked's the best. There was a mod for Battlefront 2. We had a video about where you could play as Wicked. He had an axe. He was just Yoda, but they put the Wicked player model on him. It was great. I loved it.
That's awesome.
If they put Wicked in this game, I'd freak out.
Do you think they'll have Yoda?
I don't know. Like, I think they will, because I think if they don't do Clone Wars, apparently they teased. Did you see what they said on Twitter?
No, I did
Clone
not.
Wars? Someone asked them, hey, are we going to have Clone Wars era? And someone said, and the EA Star Wars official Twitter said, well, we'll be having details about the upcoming season pass in the upcoming months. And they didn't have to reply to that at all.
Wow.
But they said that. And it was like, huh, because before they said no Clone Wars, and now they're like, stay tuned for details on the season pass. So maybe. Also, one thing people are forgetting with the DLC is we are getting Battle of Jakku for completely free, which is something that a lot of games don't even do. We're getting a free DLC map, and this pertains to to Episode 7 too, in a big way, because it's a new planet that's going to be in.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Star Wars Episode 2: Battle of Geonosis. Oh man, I'd love that. Can you imagine that?
Dude, I love the prequels. Were bad movies, but they had some awesome they were bad, but we had some awesome places to play. Yeah. Like, there was some awesome scenery and stuff. Like, I would love to play on Camino again. I loved Camino. That map in Battlefront 2 was great.
Yep.
And if just the prequel era would be great. I'd love to them to bring it on. And it's more content. It would be fantastic. They wouldn't have to rework too much. Just add extra skins, and also add new heroes. Because I think they're gonna. You're saying, are they gonna use Yoda? I think they might, because I think they want to pull from like every hero they can. Because you gotta think, there's not a whole lot of them in the original trilogy. You got Luke, Vader, Yoda, Obi-Wan, Leia. You could throw in Lando. You got Boba. Now that I say it, there are a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got a bunch actually you could use, but I think they're gonna pull from all of that as much as they can. I really hope we get Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan's my favorite Jedi. Well, he's my favorite character in Star Wars, so I hope they bring Obi-Wan in. Ben Kenobi would be great.
I don't see how they won't have him. The problem is how they're going to actually make him good based off like just his physical health in Episode 4. You know what I mean? Like he's kind of old. You know what I mean? I don't know how. I mean, Vader is too to a degree, but I don't know how that would make him OP. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, well, the thing is, like, he's so tiny. Could you imagine hitting that if he was moving like super fast? Like the way the aiming is and everything. Like, if he was moving fast and he is that small, that'd be hard to hit him because he's a pain to fight in Battlefront 2. Because he's so small and he can move so fast. Yeah. But yeah, it all depends if they want to go like off movie accuracy. Because, you know, he's powerful in the Force and everything, but he wasn't exactly doing tons of barrel rolls like he was in the prequels.
Yeah, but that's where they're going to. I mean, you said about the tease tweet. I mean, we can almost guarantee at this point they're going to go to the prequels. But you also have to understand, from the standpoint of the mainstream Star Wars, of people, you know, the kids love that stuff. You know what I mean? And I'm a kid too. I mean, I'm 18, but you know, like I watched. I was really entertained when I was 10 years old watching Star Wars Episode 2 in the theaters. Like, hell yeah, man, that was awesome. I loved it. You know what I mean? So, and young kids that didn't grow up on the original 3 films, you know, they like that kind of stuff. And I mean, like I said, it's entertaining cinematics and, you know, theater. I don't know if it's great storytelling. It's definitely not, but. You know, like I said, I mean, Battle of Geonosis, I thought was like an awesome, just 25 minutes of action film. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd love to see Battle of Geonosis in Battlefront like that. Like having an arena as part of the map would be great. Awesome. And like, so yeah, like prequel era would be great. I hope they add it on. Of course, then like if they add it as part of the DLC, everyone will be like, they're grabbing money, which they are. That's the thing. They're gonna get so much hate for adding prequels into DLC because it's gonna be like, why didn't you just add into the full game? You're doing this purely for a cash grab. So I don't know, because you know that'd be a huge DLC adding like the entire Clone Wars era. Of course, not every planet, but what I mean is, you know, like every class, or, well, not class, but every character model being now, like, Clone Wars era and stuff. And that'd be interesting to see how that all works out if they do. I'm really excited for that, if we get it, which I'm hoping we do.
And I think, honestly, Battlefront, if you look at the DLC, I think the DLC will have the most value of any other AAA title that we can look at. Yeah, obviously, we can laugh at Batman Arkham Knight at this point. So let's move on from that. Let's just go to, I mean, Call of Duty. Call of Duty, you get multiplayer maps and you get zombies maps, which are valuable. They have replayability, but nothing to the scale of Battlefront. I mean, a new map in its own way is like a whole entire new game. You know what I mean? Like, it's a totally different game.
It's a new planet, because, like, everything's so diverse. It's not like, okay, now you're playing in the weapons factory. Here you're playing in a jungle. Woo, isn't it different? In, like, Battlefront, you got all these different Star Wars planets that everyone will be like, oh, I remember that from the movies. I remember that. It's gonna be awesome. Like, everything will be like, okay, I gotta play on that map. Like, that sounds so cool to have all these different maps in a Battlefront, and I'm just really excited about it.